Okay. So I also, and we may have, this may run a little bit longer, but I did while we were, this is a little bonus section. I kind of want to talk to you about your prayer. And I'm not sure how often you're going to be in worship this next month, but while we're talking, I think it would be really cool to talk about your
Okay.
prayers, because your prayers are so intentional, and they just really, when Dave told me you were going to start helping lead worship, the first thing I said to him is, "Oh, I cannot wait for Kim to start praying again." And it's a gift to be able to write the prayers you do and to be able to deliver them the way you do. But today's prayer, in light of the horrendous horrific shooting downtown at the FedEx, I thought was so wonderful and timely and offered me so much peace and grace. And so I just thought it would be interesting to kind of hear what goes behind when you're thinking about those prayers.
Yeah, so Friday when I got up, I should take them off, but I have all these news feeds on my phone. So I was like, what? No, the first thing that happened was I'm on a text chain with some women who are all college professors. They live kind of around the country. One of them texted, I'm praying for the people of Indianapolis this morning. And I'm like, okay. And then I was like, "Well, what's going on?" And then I found out from all the news reports about the shooting that happened at FedEx, late Thursday night or late Friday morning. And it was so disturbing to me. I mean, it always is. And I think I always feel like this sense of dread and heaviness. But, that's like right in our backyard. That's at the old airport. I mean, that's mm, 20
20
minutes from
minutes.
where I live,
Yeah.
top
Yeah. For both of
167 up
us.
there, so it was just very disturbing and heavy for me all day, and, late afternoon, I called David even though I know it's his day off, and I was like, "Hey, like, what are we gonna do about the thing?" And he's like, "What thing?" Because it's his day off, and I'm like, I'm so sorry, I know that you try to check
Well, and
out, and
we
you
have
should."
taken the news off, notifications off
Yeah,
our phones,
yeah, and I
because we
know
were
he did
feeling
that during Lent.
overwhelmed. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he hasn't to put them back on.
Yeah. And so I said, there's been a mass shooting in Indianapolis, and, you know, we probably need to, address that in worship somehow. He's like, let me figure out what's going on. And so then
Yeah.
we talked later and decided, how we would address it during worship. And certainly in the prayer is a place to do that. And so I just think that so in my whole preparation for prayer, I just kind of think about what's happening. I always try to know like what's going on in the world a little bit. I hope to know like what's going on with folks in our congregation and our community because I know that whatever it is that we're concerned about, God is also concerned about. And I know that we have to pray for perpetrators and victims because I
Yeah.
really believe that. I mean, when someone does that, they don't think they have any other options. I gotta
Right.
believe that. It's not it and or there's a well, and even when there is mental illness involved, which probably there is most of the time, the person still feels like that's the only thing they can. And so, you know how I feel about mental health and mental wellness. It's kind of my
Yeah.
soapbox, my calling, my thing that I will run toward every time. And so in this particular prayer, I wanted to lift up the fact that this person was in extreme distress for a long time. Like his mother had put out the cry. He had been actually interviewed by the FBI. They had been like, I mean, and not that you can just hold people, you can't.
No, but
But there have been lots of signals that something's wrong. And such a young person too.
well, and the thing I loved about your prayer too was that you said, please help us take away the stigma of mental health, of people who are struggling with their mental health. And, you know, I, I'm someone who went through horrible postpartum depression with my second child. And I remember going through that. And after I was kind of coming out of it, in a weird way, being so thankful because I think up until that point, people were just saying, oh, they just have the baby blues, and realizing,
Right.
no, this is something much more than that. Um, so, and then having gone through the earthquake in Haiti and having PTSD with that, I mean, it's a whole lot of work to get yourself where you feel safe in your own thoughts. And this is someone who I did a ton of work in both cases with a therapist and everything. If you got someone who is not doing that,
Yeah.
it's just really scary. And, it's, I think the
And
more
at
we can
any
talk
given
about
time,
it.
there's so many people who are struggling alone, and I just think that church ought to be a place where we can say, "I'm not doing well. Like, I'm
Right.
struggling today." I
Yeah.
remember the first year I think that we worked together on the anniversary of your trip to Haiti, and you were super sad, and
Yeah. I
we're
would
trying to
have
be together.
really horrible panic attacks the first couple of
Yeah.
years.
Yeah. You're
Um,
like I'm like, "Jamalyn, like, you were in Haiti
yeah.
at this time,"
Yeah.
you know?
But now, it has made me like, there's a young woman that I knew at St. Luke's who is at University of Indianapolis, and she recently got hit by a car on campus. And she's okay, but luckily when she got, not luckily, but in what saved her was when she got hit by a car, the car went over her this way, like like she
She was
got
in
underneath
between
the
the
cab,
mm,
and so the wheels missed her and everything.
mm.
But, I mean, I actually gave her your name and said that you were trained to do the EDM.
Oh, EMDR.
Yeah, and because she says she's, physically feeling okay, but mentally really struggling, and she's been talking about it on Facebook, so I just sent her a private message, you
And,
know
the thing is, like, trauma, you're right, like, trauma's its whole thing, and there's no little T trauma and big T trauma. People used to say that, that's stupid.
Yeah,
I shouldn't like stupid, but it is. Uh,
inaccurate.
yeah, that's a better word.
Mhm.
So inaccurate, and it makes me mad, can you tell?
Yeah.
But yeah, trauma is a thing, and we've all been traumatized the last year and a half by living through a pandemic.
Yeah.
We're doing something all the time that we've never done before, and that's super scary. It doesn't really have an end. It's just we're overstimulated by the pandemic, and then our real lives are continuing.
Well, and I think there's all these new, um, y therapy groups where you can call. I can't think of the name of them right now,
Mhm.
but I've been really, because I listen to a lot of podcasts, and one of the organizations has been um, advertising on some of like the major podcasts. And so to have these celebrities saying, listen, I've been in therapy for this, that, and the other. It's like the more we can normalize it and people just feel like it's like going to the dentist, or, like
Mm,
if your tooth hurts, you go to the dentist. Well, if you're having problems with anxiety and cannot get out of bed some days, then you really need to go talk to somebody.
you really do.
Um,
It's amazing how much just talking about it in
yeah,
a non-judgmental setting helps.
yeah, I agree. So I think your prayers are wonderful because too, the more we recognize that we have to pray for people who are really struggling with that. And, you know, it's just horrendous what happened down at Fedex. And, I pray for the shooter's family and just all of it. I mean, it's just, there are tons of ripples that come from it. It's really difficult. So
Yeah,
we'll just keep praying.
and we experience one, and we don't even start to get through that one before another one happens. So,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the normalization of these mass shootings is such a ginormous tragedy. That's the hard part too. So as sevens, this conversation's been a little difficult for me. We've been talking about a lot of feelings, but I think it's okay every once in a while. Okay, everybody, listen. Next week, Kim and I will be back. I think we're going to be talking about
communion.
communion. All right.
All right. Bye,
Bye.
everybody.